Hello children, welcome back to your online video classes. Here is your Jessica ma'am with the second part of the lesson, A Gift of Chappals. So far we came to know some of the characters of the lesson like Mridu, Meena, Ravi, Lali, Rukumani aunty, Pati, music master and the great Mahendra Varma Pallava Pune the cat. So in the first part of the lesson, MP Pune, the cat grabs the entire attraction wherein we see how Ravi explains out of the blue that the cat is the descendant of the Egyptian goddess and the Rishi cat of Pallava dynasty. Blah 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 blah. So while talking all these things, they hear a creaky sound which trembles everyone. For which Ravi says that it's nothing but Lali learning her music from the music master. So let's see what's next. Please listen to it carefully. While the creaky sound went on and on, Mridu slowly crept up to the window and see. There she saw Lali sitting a distance away, holding her violin and bowstring very awkwardly. She saw a bony figure with most of his back to the window in front of her. He was mostly bald with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears and had an old-fashioned tuft. A gold chain gleamed around his neck, a diamond ring glittered in his hand, and it glided up and down the stem of the violin. A large foot stuck out from beneath his golden bordered vesty edge and was beating time on the floor with the scrawny big toe. So Mridu and others saw that he played a few notes, but Lali stumbled behind him on her violin, which really looked very helpless and unhappy in her hands. There was a great difference. The music master's notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the visible tracks of the melody, like the wheels of a train fitting smoothly into the rails and whistling along. Mridu and Ravi stared at the bee-ringed hands of the music master, moving effortlessly up the violin stem, making lovely music. Squawk! There was Lali derailing again. All of a sudden, a wail came from the gate. Amma! Oh, Amma! Immediately, Ravi's mother, who was sitting with Tapi and Pati in the back veranda, told Ravi to send that bugger away. Pati explained that this beggar was coming for the whole week and now it's time for him to search another house. Now, Ravi moved out to the garden followed by Meena and Mridu. They saw the beggar was in the garden making himself quite at home. He spread his upper cloth under the neem tree and leaned to the trunk of the tree, preparing to take a little snooze, waiting for arms to appear, means waiting for some help. Then Ravi says very sternly, "Go away." Pati says it's time for you to find another house. On this, the poor beggar opened his eyes and gazes each of the children one by one. He said in a choked voice, with feeling, that the ladies of this house are kind souls and they were generous for him for the whole week, and now he cannot believe that they would turn him away. He raised his voice again, "Amma, oh Amma, Amma." His wail was sad but not feeble. It began in deep, strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly and came booming out of his mouth with its few remaining teeth stained brown and beetle chewing. Then a fed-up sound of Rukmani from kitchen told Ravi to tell the beggar that there is nothing left in the kitchen and he is not to come again. Ravi didn't need it to repeat it, as Rukmani's sound was clear and it was easy to hear for all who were under the neem tree. The poor beggar sat up and sighed. Then he said, I'll go, but let me rest for a while under this tree, as the sun is so hot and melted the tar on the road." Then he stretched out his feet to show the large pink peeling blisters on the sole of his bare feet. Then Midu whispered to Ravi and Meena, saying that maybe the beggar doesn't have money to buy chappals. She asked them whether they have an old pair somewhere in the house. Ravi was not sure and he said his chappals are very small to fit for beggar's feet, otherwise, he would have given his. Now the beggar was getting ready to go from there, looking fearfully towards the road gleaming in the afternoon heat. Meena, with her filled eyes, said, "He needs something on his feet. It's not fair." Then Ravi said, "Shh, I'm thinking about it," and pushed the girls out to search for chappals. Just then Mridu stepped the veranda and her eyes fell on the odd looking chappals which she had noticed on her arrival. She whispers to Ravi and asks him whose are those chappals. When Ravi turned and saw those shabby looking but sturdy old chappals, he beamed and nodded. He said it was the perfect size and picked them up. Mridu and Meena followed him nervously back into the garden. Now, Ravi dropped the chappals in front of the beggar and tells him to wear it and ask him to never come again. He stares at the chappals, hurriedly flung his towel over his shoulder, pushed his feet into the chappals and muttered a blessing to the children and vanished to the corners of the street. Now, the music master comes out of the house and searches for his chappals and asks Lali if she has seen it. They both start searching it everywhere. Ravi, Meena and Mridu watch them silently. The music master screamed to Lali that the chappals were very new and he went all the way to Mount Road to buy them and it cost a whole month's fee. Lali went and told her mother Rukmani, who appeared harassed with Pati following her. She was so upset of thinking who might have stolen it. Pati said worriedly that so many vendors came to the door. Then Rukmani caught the sight of Ravi, Meena and Mridu sitting under the tree. She asks them about the chappal and finds them curiously quiet. She asks them whether they have seen anyone lurking around and a V-shaped line formed between her eyebrows. Mridu thought Rukmani was angry. She tried to tell her own self that she wouldn't be upset if she knew about the sore feet of the poor beggar. She takes a deep breath and cries that there was a poor beggar there and he had such boils in his feet. Rukmani turns towards Ravi and asks him, "So, you gave the music master's chappals to the beggar who turns up here?" Ravi reminds her that she had only told him the story of Karna, who was so kind and generous, who gave his everything even his earrings. Then Rukmani replies that Karna did not give away other people's things. He only gave his own. Then Ravi rushed brashly, saying that his chappals didn't fit the beggar's feet, otherwise he would have given his own. Rukmani was angry now. She told him to get inside the house in a minute and she hurried indoors and brought out Gopu Mama's new chappals, which were hardly worn, and gave it to the music master, asking apology for her son. The music master's eye lit up. He put on them and tried not to look happy. While going out, he kept on saying that these days children have no respect for elders and they are the incarnates of Hanuman and only Lord Rama can save such fellows. On hearing this, Rukmani's eyes flashed. She didn't like anyone calling her son a monkey or even a holy monkey. She stood up stiff and straight by the front door and it was clear that she wanted him to leave quickly. When he clattered off in his new chappals, she called in Mridu to have some tiffin and asked the children how they could do such things. She thanked God for Gopu Mama not wearing his chappal to his work. And then later she walks towards the kitchen with Meena and Mridu and suddenly she laughs, saying that as soon as their mama comes back in the evening, he throws off his shoes and gets into his chappals. And how she would tell him that she gave his chappal to the music master. Well, children, hope you all understood the lesson now. You have seen how the kids were so different in part 1 and part 2 as well. The common factor in both the part is that they were so kind. In the first part, they were so kind to the poor kitty, and in the second part, they were kind to the beggar and helped in both the cases. But one more common factor in both the cases were they did their kindness against the will of their parents, which is not at all acceptable. You must definitely help the people who are in need, but being kids, you must seek the permission of your parents too before you do something good. So, hope you all enjoyed the lesson. Complete all your worksheets and notes of the lesson. See you all again in our next lesson. Till then, thank you.